Animorphs fans, and welcome back to the Animorphs Reviews YouTube channel. This is an update video for my 1997-1998 UK edition collection. And if that hasn't bored you enough already, thank you for sticking around. Remember to like the video. There's a couple of things I want to cover actually, because last time I did a video on this, I discussed 4 books that did not have these funky donkey new fingerprint covers. So this is the cover I'm talking about, that you've got on book 1 and all the rest of the books from that point on. These 4 books didn't seem to have those editions. At least I couldn't find them, and I assumed that for whatever reason they hadn't been created, because I just couldn't find them. I couldn't even find any ISBN numbers for them. But alas, I think I might have found some. Here. So this, I found 3 of them I think. The only one I'm still absolutely sure I'm missing is from book 9, The Secret. But here I've managed to find ISBN numbers for versions of The Unknown, The Decision and The Predator, books 5, 14 and 18. I found ISBN numbers for them. And I've got the links there, and it takes me to the pages where I found these ISBN numbers. So for example, we've got The Unknown here. Now what makes me think that these are the correct editions? Firstly, there is no picture. There's no picture associated with that ISBN number. So we can't actually see what the front cover looks like, which is already a good start. Now looking through these websites, there are a lot of indications that all of them were released on September 17th, 1999 up until book 19. I'm not certain on that because Goodreads here lists most of them as the 1st of January, but then other websites contradict that. So for example, look at this page where I found this version of The Predator. Again, one of those books where I didn't think there was a fingerprint version cover. But this one has a different ISBN to all the other versions I've found. It was published, apparently, 17th September 1999. Where was it? Who printed it? Scholastic Hippo, who printed all these fingerprint ones. In fact, they printed all of the Animorphs ones. Published in Great Britain. So I think this one, this ISBN number, is the fingerprint version of this book here. And once again, there is no picture on the front here, which gives me a further clue that obviously that picture just hasn't ended up online somehow. So that's that one. The Decision. I'm not so sure about this one because it doesn't actually have another published date, but it's Scholastic Hippo and it's a different ISBN number to all the others, and again, there is no picture there. The only one I haven't found anything for is book 9, The Secret. So I think I found the ISBN numbers for 3 of these books that I could not find. So these 3. It's my mission now to finally find one of these. But for whatever reason, they're just not on the internet. I don't know why. They're very difficult to come by. If you have one, or if you want to find them, join me in the search or tell me about it. Send me a picture. I mean, I'm not going to ask you to I'm not going to buy it off you unless you want to sell it to me. I just want to see a picture of it existing. I want to know that these things exist. That's what I want to know. As for book 9, yeah, I'm still searching for anything on that one. Somebody on my channel, by the way, Jake Berenson, says, firstly, I don't know why you're not, I thought you had students to teach military stuff to, but okay, you're on this channel. You say the original run stopped before book 19. I feel obliged to point out that I came across an original style UK print of book 19, The Departure, in 1999. And then Jake Berenson continues on a story explaining that there was a non-fingerprint cover of this one, The Departure. Now, I've never seen one. I never thought there was one. And actually, I think I might have found evidence that maybe you're remembering wrong. Again, please feel free to prove me wrong. But if you look at any of these other fingerprint books, so for example, book 1, The Invasion, it says at the front, first published in the UK by Scholastic Limited 1997, this edition 1999. So it's listing them as different editions. So it was first published as one of these non-fingerprint versions in 1997, and then this version, a later version, was published in 1999. Same for a book like The Underground, fingerprint version. Same again, it lists this edition, 1999. Where do we see that trend stopping? Book 19, where at the start it just says first published in the UK by Scholastic 1999. It doesn't list a date for a first edition. So according to that, this is the first UK edition. So that's evidence against the idea that there was a previous version of this in the UK. This is where the fingerprint cover started, where they phased out this type of cover. So that's that. Just one more thing before we go. I mentioned it in the last video, but starting with book 9 and finishing on book 13, you got these in the middle, little collector cards. Well, now I've got them all, because I got another version of The Forgotten with that still attached. So I've now got all 6 cards. So let's have a look at these cards, shall we? What do they say on the back? Collect the full set of 6 Animorphs character cards and win a mountain bike. There is a different character card to collect in every new Animorphs book, from Megamorphs 1 and in books 9 to 13. Find out everything you ever wanted to know about Jake, Cassie, Marco, Rachel, Tobias and Axe, their Andalite friend. All you have to do is solve the cryptic message to win a mountain bike. On every Animorphs card, you'll find a token showing part of a cryptic message. Cut off the token from each card. When you've collected all 6 tokens and unscrambled the 6 parts of the message, write it down and send it with the 6 tokens and your name address to the Andalite Warrior Ship, Publicity Department, etc., etc. A draw of the solved messages will be made on the 30th of April 1999. 2 first prizes, super cool mountain bikes, 20 run-up prizes, Animorphs t-shirts and signed books. So, I've never seen a picture of a mountain bike, and I imagine it's that sort of thing where the bike currently is non-existent. Some kid probably won it somewhere, and it was the only bike of its kind ever made, and now it's rusted up in some scrapyard somewhere, which would be a shame. If it is still out there, Christ, I wouldn't be able to ride it because I'm probably too big for it, but I would frickin' put it on a wall or something. That would be amazing. If someone has it, if you have it out there, if it's you, Jake Berenson, then please do let me know. Big thank you to Tira, who actually commented on the backs of these cards and said, I managed to obtain all the cards, as I still have the ones I purchased as a kid. I wish I could go check on the missing one, but it's currently in one of the 1,000 book boxes. That's referring to the one that I was missing that I've now got, by the way. I do remember that the overall sentence said something like, don't be fooled, there could be a yerk standing right next to you. I think the one in 11 says something like a yerk standing. So let's double check that. So book 11, what does it say? It says, could be a. So you're close there. I think that's the first part of that sentence. So in a minute, we'll put all these together. But you said something else very interesting. As for token 6 being blank and not including a message, that was a big old misprint. I remember writing a snail mail letter to Scholastic to ask about it. And they sent me a letter explaining that it was a mistake, and they told me the words it was supposed to say. I dimly remember hearing news about a child getting a bike, so I think that they still managed to enter even though one of the messages was missing. The missing one is meant to say, could be. So if we have all of them in front of us, it would be something like, don't be fooled, there could be a yerk standing right next to you. I also didn't notice that there was a few that went unpublished with the newer fingerprint covers. Those ones from 1 to 8 I didn't try to collect, as I thought the fingerprint ones were just ugly TV show marketing. That's interesting now that I think about it. I don't think I've ever seen those ones. It was probably just Scholastic making errors. The UK print runs never got as much attention as the US print runs, with mistakes and the occasional missing book here and there. So that is an incredibly interesting post, so thank you very much, Thera. You were wrong in a couple of places, so I think you said that the missing one, token 6, it was actually could be a, which is the message found on token 4, which is in book 11. So I'm judging from that you've got it mixed up And the one that should be on token 6 is the one that says a yerk standing or something like that. So let's try to form this sentence together. So it starts with don't be fooled. I imagine on token 6 it would be is a yerk right next to you. That seems like it would make sense. So I'm assuming that was the case. So how did Scholastic manage to balls that up? How? And if they balled that up, I wouldn't be surprised if they accidentally forgot to publish book 9 as a fingerprint cover. Maybe that's the story. That's how useless Scholastic are. That's who was handling Animorphs. They forgot to put a competition token into a book. Well done, Scholastic. Well hecking done. As for the rest of these cards, they are pretty good looking little things. I like them. Except the Tobias one just seems a bit out of place, but what can you do? And on the back of each of these cards is a fact file for each Animorph. So to finish off these, let's go through each of these cards. Jake. His nickname is Prince Jake. Axe calls him that. Brown hair and serious dark eyes. His trademark is being in charge. His pets, he has a dog named Homer. His brother is a controller, and Rachel is his cousin. No mention of his parents, notice that. His favourite hobby is playing video games with Marco, his best friend. His favourite morphs, green anole lizard, flea, seagull and lobster. I'm going to go out there and say that I disagree with that. I don't think those would be his favourite morphs. Somehow, lizard, flea, seagull and lobster. I think maybe falcon, tiger, something like that maybe might take his preference, but apparently... Remember, this is Scholastic, you know, they're on top of things. They're in charge, they know what they're doing. On morphing. My bones. Well, it didn't exactly hurt, but they did feel very strange. You know when you go to the dentist and he gives you Novocaine, so the drill doesn't really hurt, but you know it should hurt? I guess that's what it's like. On the Yerks, they are ruthless. They will do anything, absolutely anything to win. But when the situation is impossible, totally impossible, they stop fighting. They figure the other Yerks will carry on and fight for them. And his personal encounter with a Yerk. In Book 6, The Capture, Jake gets a Yerk in his own head. My vision changed. I felt as if I was seeing through things, into things. Moving on to Rachel, we're going in book order by the way. Nicknames, Miss Fashion and Xeno Warrior Princess. Vital stats, long blonde hair, beautiful model type. Has it all, looks and brains. Her trademark is Amazon Warrior Alter Ego. I suppose. Family, mum and dad are divorced, 2 sisters, Jordan and Sarah. Jake is her cousin. Her favourite hobby is gymnastics. I'm okay at vaulting and the parallel bars, but I'm pretty lame at the balance beam. I'm sorry, Rachel. Favourite morphs, bottlenose dolphin and housefly. Again, I don't trust Scholastic. I don't believe you. Maybe the dolphin, yeah, fine. Housefly, probably not so much. On morphing. Morphing, I'm not going to do the accent. Morphing takes concentration. When you're going from human to animal, it's harder. You have to really focus. But going back to human is easier. Morphing is not some neat, sensible process. Body parts suddenly appear, other parts disappear, and the sizes don't always match up until the end. And on the Yerks, she says, when I say that the aliens are here, don't go looking around for a cute little thing. You won't see the Yerks. They are parasitic worms, evil grey slugs that live in the heads of humans. And on the invasion. I live in 2 completely different worlds. There's my family, sure. But then, in my other life, I am a warrior. I risk my life. I fight in deadly nightmare battles against terrible odds. I become so much more than just a kid. Moving on then. Tobias, his nickname is Bird Boy. He has blonde hair, formerly the dweeby new kid in high school who got picked on a lot. Trademark is dreamy. Dreamy. And not in the sense that he's like a dreamboat, you know, you sort of swoon over, he's just fucking in a world of his own. Pets, he had a stray cat. Now that is not mentioned in the book. That's adding new information to the series. So a stray cat he rescued named Dude. That's interesting that they add that. But then again, they also say that their favourite morphs are freaking, I don't know, bacterium. Favourite saying, it's a hawk-eat mouse world out there. Is that his favourite? I'm not sure. His hobbies. He likes school, watching TV, reading, hanging out at the mall. Mostly likes to be alone. I'm used to it. Are those his hobbies, really? Okay. His favourite morph was trapped in his red tail hawk morph. But what now? What do you mean, what now? I mean, I know this is the book where he gets his morphing power back, so I suppose that, but I don't know what you mean. By the way, it does raise an interesting question, because Tobias actually picked up a battle morph in book 1, but it was never said what it was. And it wasn't a red tail hawk, so that's going to be forever a mystery. Up to speculation. What was Tobias's original battle morph meant to be? Anyway, on morphing. We had learned from experience that morphing can be extremely disturbing. Jake had morphed into a lizard and been almost overpowered by the animal's fearful brain. It is something straight out of a nightmare. Of course, I'm the handy reminder of what happens if you stay in a morph too long. And on the Yerks. I was glad to fight the Yerks. Of course, maybe I just had less to lose than the others. Or maybe something about the lonely, defeated, yet courageous Andalite prince touched me so deeply that I can never regret fighting to settle the score. I found something worth fighting for. Moving on to Cassie. Her nickname is Tree Hugger. Yes. Vital stats, short hair. I don't like messing with it. She lives on a farm, dresses casual to the extreme. Her trademark is the natural peacemaker, the best morpher. Because she is part Elemist, mind. Big secret. She likes Jake. You know, as in, like. Is it a big secret by this point? Maybe that's why it's in book 9, The Secret. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why it's called The Secret. I don't know. Family. She lives with her mum and dad, both vets. Pets, a whole menagerie, depending on what she's rescued that week at the Wildlife Rehabilitation Clinic. Her favourite hobby, animals, 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 from porcupines to polar bears, and hanging around with Rachel. Favourite morphs, bottlenose dolphin, humpback whale, and wolf spider. Close, but completely wrong. On morphing. You never know how much the animal's mind and instincts will resist you. We're just scared little humans, trying to borrow the mind of a fox and the eyes of an eagle or a hawk, the strength of a lion. We're calling on animals to help protect us from evil. On the Yerks. I really don't like the idea of being under the control of an alien, but I don't like the idea of being dead either. On the Invasion. I've been in one-to-one combat to the death with 7-foot-tall Hawkbajir warriors, and I've been shot at by Dracon beams that sort of disintegrate you slowly. That's what you got to say on the Invasion. Okay, whatever, Cassie. That card's annoyed me. Marco, nearly there now. Nickname, Spider-Man. Is that Marco's nickname, Spider-Man? Come on, Scholastic. You can do better than this, Scholastic. Deary me. Vital stats, long brown hair, dark complexion, self-conscious about being short, has a lot of nightmares. Is that part of his appearance? It shows on his face. He's just, he's aged because he's had so many nightmares. So that's why it's vital stats. Okay. Trademarks. Came up with the name Animorphs. Sarcastic. Smart. Favourite word. Insane. Family. Used to think Mum had drowned, but she was really taken by the Yerks. Dad was an electrical engineer. He is again now. Certainly by the time this book had come around again. Favourite hobby? Hanging out with his best friend Jake. I notice how it says Jake's hobby is video games and it doesn't say that about Marco, but... Favourite morphs? Gorilla, Big Jim, Mouse and Irish Setter. On morphing, one of the most annoying things about morphing, dealing with the clothing. Anytime you tried to morph a jacket or a sweater, they just ended up shredded. And shoes? Forget about shoes. On the Andalites. I mean, how often do you get to hang out with a real alien? That's true, Marco, true. On the Yerks. We're 5 normal kids, up against the Yerks. It was a football game. Who would you bet on? We're toast. And on the Invasion, I have a saying for you. I got it from a fortune cookie. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. You know what that means? It means you don't just lie there. You always get up. You always come back for more. Never surrender. Now, actually, I quite like that card. That one's not too bad. That's probably the best one so far. Let's see if the last card, the one that was... oh, this one wasn't the misprinted one. I thought it was. Let's see if this one changes anything. Axe, his full name is Axmili Escaruth Istil. Vital stats, a cross between a blue deer, a mouthless human, a goat with eyes on the end of his horns, and a scorpion. Don't remember much mention of goat appearance, but I'm not going to say no to it. Trademark, loves to eat anything and everything when in human morph. Family, brother of Prince Elfangor Serenial Shamtal, the dying Andalite who granted the 5 Animorphs the gift, the power to morph. Favourite saying, and this one's got an asterisk at the end, so that'll be interesting. Favourite saying is, grace is the acceptance of the inevitable. Yeah, pretty good. And why is it? Axe's perfect speech and thought speak, and not so perfect speech when he talks out loud to the Animorphs. Yeah, I suppose you can say that. Favourite morph, human. And when he morphs, he looks like a cross between Jake, Rachel, Cassie and Marco, because he combined all their DNA and crossed genetic patterns. On humans, oh, humans smell. It's not a bad smell. Sort of like an animal we have back on my planet. It's called a flower. There's another asterisk next to it. It's just going to asterisk anytime there's thought speak. Okay. On the and by the way, a flower. That's how posh people say flower. Ew, the flower. I remember watching Mary Berry thing, and I have a great laugh at that. Yeah, I had crap sense of humour, I know. On the Andalites, I'm Andalite, light, ite. So far, so good. Thank you, Axe. On the Yerks. Yerks are killers of worlds, hated and feared throughout the galaxy. They are a plague that spreads from world to world, leaving nothing but desolation and slavery and misery in their wake. And only the Andalites can stop them. Are we sure about that, Axe? Are we absolutely sure about that? On the Invasion. What else do you fight for, if not honour? The higher the danger, the higher the honour. So, these cards, they're really weird, because on the one side, they're very accurate, as if somebody knows the intricate details of the show, and then it'll say something like, Cassie's favourite morph is a wolf spider, or Jake's favourite morph is a flea or a lizard. It's almost as if two people were writing these cards, one of them knew what they were talking about, and the other... that was just, you know. So that is really weird. There's some stuff in there that's really interesting, like telling us that dude, Tobias's cat, was a stray, which I don't think was mentioned in the book. But then you get some stuff that's just plain wrong. So it's a combination of things, but it's nice to add to my collection. I enjoyed that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you've got anything to say about the Animorphs UK early editions and the fingerprint editions, please do let me know. This video has actually gone on longer than I expected, and that's probably my wife telling me she's finished work. So thank you very much for watching. I shall see you next time. Ta-ra! This is an addendum. So I recorded that big video there, and a few days later, I did a bit more investigating, and I've actually found out a few more things. So this just goes on to the end of the video. I did some research on ISBN numbers, and I've got the list here of the ISBN numbers for the fingerprint editions from books 1 to 20. Or at least they're speculated in some cases. And this is them now. So there is a logical order to how it works. They were released in batches. I'm not exactly sure why, but the first 4 seem to have been released one after the other. And then 5 through 12 were released next. 13 was released on its own. And then 14 through to 18. Books 19 and 20 were produced before the reprinted versions. So those are the ISBN numbers. The ones out in red are the ones that I'm missing, and the ones that initially I was skeptical on actually existing. But if you look up these ISBN numbers, they do come up with an Animorphs book. Animorphs books that have no known covers and aren't currently available online. And looking at the patterns here, it makes sense. Those are the ISBN numbers for the 4 books we are missing. So we now do have ISBN numbers. One of them though is strange, and I believe it's book 9. If you type in the ISBN number, it leads to a completely different book. But on the couple of instances it's online, it says at the end, in brackets, Animorphs. So that is very strange, but it does lead me to believe that that is the ISBN number we're looking for. It's just that for whatever reason, it's gotten confused and associated with another book. But yeah, that's that. So I'm going to be searching for these books over the course of the next however long it takes, because eventually, surely, they will pop up online somewhere. So I'm just going to keep... I'm occasionally just going to keep putting these ISBN numbers into the internet and seeing if anything turns up, and I will keep you updated. So that's them, you're you, I'm me, and you'll be tuning in for the next video, surely. So thank you very much for watching. I shall see you next time. Ta-ra!